Thank you. It's close enough. Thank you for joining us for the East Aurora Village Board meeting on March 4th, 2024. If you could join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you could actually join me for a moment of silence for a retired DPW worker and the uncle of one of our current assistant DPW superintendents, James Stoll, who just passed away recently. Thank you. Thanks. You in attendance, please, Sarah?
Trustee Lizikis. Trustee Cameron. Trustee Vijay.
Here.
Trustee Flynn.
Here.
Trustee Raby. Trustee Shear.
Here.
Mayor Mercurio.
Present.
4 present, 3 absent.
Thank you. I get a motion to approve the minutes of the village board meeting for February 20th, 2024. So move. Second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Moved by Ernie, second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve the payment of abstract for voucher numbers 64530 to 64584 for a total of $152,047.75.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Approved. This is our first speakers and communications. If you have an issue you'd like to bring up, please raise your hand when recognized. If you come up to the mic, give us your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes to tell us what your issue is. Anybody? All right, there'll be another opportunity later in the meeting. Moving on to official considerations. Can I get a motion to approve 4 firefighters to attend the GRIT 2024 hands-on training presented by Gettsville Fire Company at a cost of $300 per firefighter? So moved. Moved by Ernie, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion. Aaron, you want to just tell us about this a little bit, please?
So this is actually the first time that we've had the opportunity to send firefighters to this training. The Gettsville Fire Company actually hosts this themselves. RIT is a rapid intervention team. So it's firefighters that are specifically assigned to rescue firefighters if they go down. We don't necessarily have a RIT team, but we also have the potential, like any fire department, for firefighters to go down. So this is a very intense training that they actually bring instructors in from across the country. Usually doesn't get opened up outside of the town of Amherst. Now that we have the opportunity and firefighters willing to go, we'd like to try sending them.
Awesome.
Sure.
And Maureen, how's it going to work budget-wise if we didn't budget for this?
He has enough money in his budget for it.
There's enough
They
to
didn't
cover.
go to some of the other trainings that they normally would go to.
So you don't see this as an annual thing, Aaron?
Could be for different firefighters. It's a new training every year.
Mhm.
Depending on how this goes, we might send people back next year.
Okay. I'm just wondering, since we just crunched our budget and firefighter training, I think was a line in it. Should we tweak it and massage it and account for that, or do we not have to worry about it?
I think it's usually a pick and choose of what
Yeah, depends
trainings
on
are
availability.
available.
Be that or hoses?
This one just needed special approval because we don't have them as a regular approved. At your yearly meeting, we have our regular approved trainings, and this wasn't one of them because it's not something they normally go to. So they needed special approval.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the board? Moved by Ernie, second by Grace. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to approve a Hamlin Park temporary use permit for the Aurora Players for theatrical productions on various dates.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second. Second by Ernie. Further discussion? Anybody here from the Aurora Players to tell us about it? All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve a temporary use permit for the Bunny Hop 5K by Rotary Club, applicant Sean Cunningham, for March 30th, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
So moved.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? Would the applicant like to give us a quick high level? Any changes, anything significant?
Same as it's been for the last 14, 15 years. It is the Rotary Club's biggest fundraiser at this point. We're hoping for, last year we were around 800 runners. This year, I think we're hoping for 8 or 9. Our biggest was 1,100, but that was a pre-COVID year, so.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions for Sean? All right, appreciate you. Any other discussion from the board? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve a temporary use permit for Ben? How do you pronounce that? Holmes? Holmes? Ben Holmes, Wall and Wine, 641 Oakwood Ave for an eclipse party, April 8th, 2024. From noon to 6 p.m.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Ernie. Further discussion? Would the applicant like to tell us what's going on? What's this gonna entail? Shenanigans? Yeah,
On your day off.
Gonna have a party, pretty casual, 2-man band, some beer,
not on the roof, right?
solely on the roof. That was in there. More inside out. Yeah. no,
Easy Rich.
Pretty casual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out in the lot, weather permitting.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
You gonna have a stage set up? That stage you do or not?
Probably not for just if it's a 2-piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was either thinking free or charge admission. If you don't pay, close your eyes. Don't.
You can't let them.
Yeah, you're not. allowed to see glass.
They get blindfolds instead of the
Yeah,
glasses.
yeah.
What was I gonna ask? Oh, how many people you expect? Any clue?
I'd be happy.
Okay. So we don't need to close off the street or fence in the. All right.
I mean, I gotta put a fence up around my parking lot anyways, just for SLA guidelines,
Mm.
because I have a beer truck out there.
Mhm.
Other than that, nothing too crazy, I don't think.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Ben? All right, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion from the board? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to appoint Robert Brinthaupt to the position of crossing guard to start on or about February 26th, 2024?
So moved.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
Woodette? All right, I'm going to appoint Robert Brinthaupt to the position of crossing guard to start on or about February 26th. And you want roll call, you said? Need a roll call vote for this? Grace?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes,
Molly?
Yes.
And I'm an aye. Thank you for approving my appointment.
he's a good guy. I've known him for years.
Yeah,
Yeah, wonderful person. Sponsored my son in church.
Awesome.
Yeah,
good. It's good to have a good person in that role. Somebody with some personality. Can I get a motion to accept the new firefighters into the East Aurora Fire Department, including Matt Stoffel, Brittany Tanner, Dennis McCarthy, Ben Smith, Matt Ullery, Deanie Filbert, Brett Rue, Ted Imstad, and Jarrell Carter Barsenas.
so moved.
Moved by Ernie, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? Chief, any comment? Awesome. If they're volunteering to
Yeah,
risk life and limb for the rest of us, they definitely are.
9 new ones. That's great.
All right, any other discussion from the board? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Moving on to new business. Discuss contract with Left Coast regarding Left Coast production for use of village property during filming of a movie. So I talked to Brian, the, I guess, producer, the guy who's making the movie, independent film. He expects about a third of it to be filmed in East Aurora, a third of it to be filmed in Fredonia because they need a college campus, and then a third of it to be filmed on a couple locations, like a barn and like an old farmhouse, I think. So I asked what the part in the village would entail, and he said, he goes, we might need like one of the restaurants, you know, and a storefront. He said, walking around Main Street, he goes, there will be one point where we'll need a car gets like stolen. He goes, but it's not like a car chase, because that's what I said, there's gonna be like car chases and explosions, that kind of thing. He said, there'll be like a car chase and a guy runs after the car, it just pulls over and whatever, it's part of the plot. He goes, did you read the script? And I'm like, I didn't read the script. Did you read the whole thing? Yeah, but I said, I'm like, 3 car chases. There's one in the village. So, well, oh yeah, he said it's not a car chase. He said it's a guy on foot chasing after his car that got stolen. So he said there's a car that might get hit by a train. He goes, but he's Tim Clark from the Niagara Film Commission has a spot for him out in Eden where they'll do that. So we won't have any train issues here, which is good. What else? He said the theme and the message of the movie is just a slasher horror movie, nothing controversial that would shine a bad light on our community. I said we don't have any, specific fees or anything in place, but we also expect the village residents won't be paying for things like police or DPW overtime if it's required. And he's like, that's totally fair. So I think that seems to be the way to go, not have us front anything, but we're also not looking to make money on them filming stuff here either, so. Hopefully, the filming is September 1 to September 30. He doesn't know exactly how long he'll be filming in the village, but he'll let us know as it moves forward. Chris, you were looking over the
I
the
did.
location agreement?
I did, there are several things that need to be modified.
I told him we needed our legal opinion on it. We'd get it back to him after we told him what we needed, so thanks for.
I think he needed a local bar too, Ben. That was one of them.
Yeah, he said he went through it over the weekend with Tim. And he goes, I wasn't really like looking for the sites. I was just trying to get the idea of the village.
Yeah.
He goes, and then I went down to Fredonia and did the same thing down there.
There's
so.
Townie Bar, right? Down there. I'll work as an extra for beer.
I can make one.
Yeah, sure.
Line us
You bet
all
you
up the
can.
usual
Gouge
suspects.
away.
It's not an issue.
California prices on everything.
Get Rick Oler in there, Ray, everybody kind of leaning on the bar. Authentic.
So I have a call into him to get all the details that we need for the contract. I
Mhm.
have about a page of questions for him to make sure.
Very good. Yeah, he's not from the area. But he said basically it's being filmed in New York. If you want to film in New York State, you film in New York, you film in Buffalo. So he liked the idea of Buffalo and he heard good things about East Aurora, so. Coming here. But anything else? If you got questions, you guys, I think you might have his contact.
No, I
info in his letter.
reviewed the first contract, already sent my comments over to
Perfect.
Maureen last week, so.
Good. Board have any concerns or questions that we may or may not be able to answer at this point?
No,
He's
as
got what,
long as,
$7 million budget? Is that what it
as
was?
long as it's
Yep.
okay with legal, I'm fine.
Yeah, we're
It
we're
will
gonna
be
have to
once
make,
we're done.
yeah, we have to make some changes. I just have questions on some things. Like he asked about taking down signage and putting up new signage. I need to know what signage. They want a banner. We have to still follow the laws of banners on main streets, things like that.
All right. Anything else for this agenda item? All right, moving on. No old business, speakers and communications. We had somebody who wanted to bring up an issue. Is Judy Miller here? Hello, Judy. Would you like to come up and we record the whole meeting so we can put it online. So if you could speak into the microphone, that'd be great, please. Can you give us your name? Yeah, if you can give us your names and addresses for the record of the mic, then we'll have it.
Judy Miller, Christopher Miller, 2 Woodbrook Drive, East Aurora, New York.
Hi.
Hi,
Mr. Mayor.
Village
pleasure.
of East Aurora, New York. In July of 2021, and I did give a copy. I think you already had a copy. We at Woodbrook Drive, which is a condominium. Are you familiar with Mill Street?
Oh, sure.
Everyone has driven on Mill Street.
Mm-hmm. Right where Woodbrook comes in and it does one of those,
That's
yeah.
right, a fancy spot.
Um,
So anyhow, this was done in July of 21 and was addressed to the village board and to the town of Aurora Police Department Safety Committee, which I guess consisted of 3 individuals. And when I asked about how it had gone, I wasn't able to be here. I was told that, oh, it's a county road, it's their issue. But it's in the village, and we're in the village. and we walk a lot. We're very active. We've been there over 20 years. And in the last 5 years, since the Murano development and who knows what else. I don't know if anybody saw the paper on Buffalo News on Saturday was about, they don't know why there's this huge increase in pedestrian accidents in Western New York. Well, this is a pedestrian accident spot waiting to happen. And so what we're,
I mean, like,
Yeah.
Judy just made a rough reference to Morano, but we specifically want to be on board about it. It's the Aurora Mills development.
85 homes.
85 homes were built there within the past 5 years. If you figure a car and a half per resident, that's 125 additional vehicles that are up and down Mill. The only guy that I know that's happy about that is Sam, the car wash guy.
Sammy, anyhow, the thing is that, my concern is that the sidewalk ends on the east side of Mill Street in the village at 170. And 182, 84, whatever that address is, has no sidewalk in front of it. And then, of course, it's prohibited from sidewalk where the pond and the grapevines come right to the guardrail in the village. And I'm assuming he must have a grandfather clause that it can be there, because otherwise, why could you do that right to the edge in the village? Edge of the road. So, and then across the street is the Erie County Water Works program, sewage program. And there's a lot of space over there. So, you know, I sit there and I design, well, we can finish the sidewalk here, make a crosswalk, do sidewalk there, make a crosswalk to Woodbrook. I don't know what has to be done, and I know it costs money. And I know everybody thinks, gee, this is a lovely idea, but we have to figure it out because we are in a cul-de-sac totally cut off from being pedestrian or bike riding residents within the village. We cannot participate in the village without the fear of getting struck by a car. They drive too fast, there's too many, and there's no sidewalk.
I'd like to also mention that Judy and I have become on a first name basis with many of the officers in the East Aurora Police Department, constantly requesting more activity on Mill Road. As you come down Fairlawn, down the hill, there is a posting there of 20 miles an hour. There's a village posting across the street, just a little farther up. It says village speed 30. The fact of the matter is, from Fairlawn down the hill to the intersection of 20A, it is averaging, Judy and I would think, at least 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, 35 to 40.
And again, I'd like to thank the village police department for spending some time there. But again, it's an accident waiting to be happening on that area. I think we can also appreciate the fact that we have 2 Ram trucks, one coming up Mill off 28, one coming down Mill towards 28. There is just no room. There is just no room.
We got chased by one up our driveway, upping everything else because we were crossing the road when he was coming down. So, I mean, I know that's rare, but you won't believe that it's more than you'd expect. I mean, vehicles really do own the road, and I understand that they're built for vehicle traffic. But within the village, we would hope as residents of the village to be able to participate as pedestrians and get to the farmer's market without being killed. So I don't know what can be done, whether there can be a study, whether there's any thought about a study on parts of the road like that. But that would be our ask.
So I remember the first time you guys brought this up and we looked at it, and like you said, it's just a tricky situation. And then with the town of Aurora's Mill Road development, the Morano development, it did increase traffic. We even had the state look at where Mill Road hits Hamburg Quaker there to see if they could do maybe a traffic circle if that was warranted, because there was gonna be so many more cars coming through there, or put a stop sign in where Beach hits center, you know? And I think Shane, the state came back, or Maureen, the state came back and said it wasn't required. They didn't see the need for a circle there. Is that what happened?
Yeah, they stated something to the effect that it isn't warranted right there. Their study strictly, almost completely looks at accident volume and there's minor accident volume in that area.
So if there's enough
Is that a
accidents at that
state
point,
or
then,
county road?
Yeah,
yeah. So
County.
Is it
the Hamburg
county road?
Quaker is state, Mill
28.
Road is county,
Okay.
right? So how does it work as far as getting the county? Do they do like sidewalk projects on their streets, or what is their limits of their,
I think the last time
responsibility?
they addressed it, I think there was an issue with the pitch. Wasn't there, Matt, something about the pitch of the sidewalk was too great, would have been a hazard.
They can do steps then.
The only way to get a sidewalk in there is to make it cross Mill Road multiple times to get to the end point.
And on that curve, hill, that wouldn't be safe, putting crosswalks on blind curves and hills.
without stop signs at them?
How
Yeah, like
about-
we don't even do crosswalks at like where where a street tees in, only at a four-way intersection, because otherwise it gives the residents, the pedestrians, a false sense of security.
Speed humps.
Yeah, it's a county road and it's a maintenance issue for plowing. They would have to put them in, take them out, put them in, take them out.
So now to that point, Matt, I started seeing them in Buffalo. Actual permanent speed bumps, not the replaceable ones. I see them in Buffalo and Rochester now, where, I mean, I assume they have a way to plow over them.
Are they
I don't know if it's
the
the-
rumble strips or,
Yeah, they're
Mm-mm.
very big up,
It's a hump.
flat,
oh,
speed tables, yeah.
So is that something we can ask the county to do?
Again, I don't know if they would do that on a curve.
Oh, maybe they do it before the curve and slow them down. I mean, I'm all for slowing traffic down in the village, you know? And
Perhaps it would be helpful too, if there's a way that the village could get some sort of a committee or something that would really change the culture and the environment and stress that it's a pedestrian friendly community. And the signs welcoming people to the village would say, welcome to East Aurora, pedestrian friendly community, or something to that effect.
I mean, we have
Because I know
speed
they've
issues
done it
everywhere.
elsewhere.
Everybody.
Every artery coming in has a
Well,
speed issue. I
and
mean,
it's not just East Aurora.
right. It's
It's
Olean,
every
it's
community,
Baker.
the whole population throughout the country, or at least in this neck of the woods, is everybody's busy, everybody's doing 20 million things, and nobody's considerate of the other person. They're always just
Yeah.
getting
they're-
from point A to point B, and without much thought into it.
I mean, Shane, let me ask this if I could, and again, thank you, board, for your time and attention to this. Judy and I have thought many times when we're walking from Fairlawn down Mill, down that hill, why there can't be a indicator of what your speed is.
We have traffic monitoring devices. We can't put them out during the winter because they drain the battery too quick. But from the time temperatures reach 60-ish in the spring to the time they go below 60-ish in the fall, we have two signs that can't be on Mill Road all the time because everybody else wants them too. So we move them around as much as we can.
What's the cost of a sign?
A sign itself costs a couple $1,000s, and then there's hundreds of dollars of subscription fees per year per sign.
It's a different flash.
So I won't get as dramatic as saying, what's the cost of a human life, right? But I'll only say, and I'll speak for Judy on this, there has to be some out of the box thinking about how we handle the safety of people walking Mill Road towards 28.
I personally, if my kids or my family asked if they should walk from Beach to 28,
Right.
I wouldn't tell them to because there's not a big enough shoulder there for that road. But sometimes geography prevents that. You know, sometimes with the pond and with the slope of the hill on the other side of the street,
It
It's
doesn't
not a
prevent
great
it.
place.
It doesn't prevent it. It makes it more difficult and we have to think outside the box.
Right,
because
it's a
our
really,
bad.
it is a unique situation, right? So to try and get creative, what about, you know, that apartment complex on Maple? Where their exit, they have a pedestrian sidewalk exit in the
It
back
goes-
of the
goes to
property
North
coming out
Street.
onto North Street. So has anyone
biggest-
looked to see if there's a way to come out through the back
That's
of
exactly what I was
this
thinking.
Woodbrook and come out along
We got the creek.
well, you got the creek, but you also have some yards that lead up, some yards that lead up. I don't know what the pitch is. I'm not looking at a topographical map, but is there a way would bring somebody out through the back, with a much shorter exposed walk and they could come
That would
in?
involve private property.
Right, it would involve private property, but I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to get creative and think outside the box, right? Maybe there's a way to do it.
Yeah, and one of the private properties is already the property that makes it impossible for the sidewalk to come to Woodbrook.
Yeah.
Because of the pond being all the way to the road. And maybe he could make a footbridge over his pond.
Yeah, I'm not even talking there though. I'm talking farther down by the actual Woodbrook Drive circle. It looks like one of the buildings has a little parking lot, a little parking garage. Like I said, I don't have the topography, but at least maybe it's something we should be looking at. And we're fortunate enough to have county legislator Lindsay Lariga with us tonight. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. I heard you're saying it's not the first time I've heard about Mill Road, and I've only been in office for months and some days. When it comes to putting speed bumps and things on county roads, and I'm sure highway superintendent, I attest around a curve like that, there's gonna be plow issues, and I know they're especially, sensitive to that, given the several storms we've had. I like the mayor's idea about getting creative and seeing what we can do. Sometimes sidewalks are easier said than done, but there's other options and that we can take a look at and, see what we can do. So I'll talk to you. If you looked up, then I'll-
Thanks for coming out.
Got the county and
Stop
those
sign?
ones.
Oh.
Thanks so much.
All right, so
Beach.
we're gonna continue to look at
Up by
our
beach.
options and see.
Just
Um,
slow
Now that
down.
Too much of a hurry
the
these
planning
days.
said stop
board
and then
has
start
given
again?
it- you
And I've never
will-
seen.
I'm sorry, folks. Molly,
Now
what was
that
that?
the condominium board has given it to me, it won't be going away. I will be.
Right,
Oh, no, we welcome it. It's fine.
Yeah. yeah, hopefully we can figure out a creative way to make it happen.
Hmm.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, it's gotten busier all my life. All the development going on around what used to be the country and people are less considerate now than they used to be. People are in a hurry and angry, shouting profanities at other people. It's crazy. Like you hear the horns blaring on Main Street. Really unfortunate we've gotten to that point in our society.
Well, and hopefully we can stay
And it's
flexible and
everywhere. It's everywhere. It's not just East Aurora.
flexible and agile and figure out a way
Yeah,
to make this a safer route.
Well,
it was always dicey. It was dicey as a kid. I
Yeah.
mean, I had friends on Fairlawn and I'd be riding there. Well, it used to be pitch black there. At least there's more light out there now. When I drive home, it was like,
Yeah,
I'm
when,
like.
when that was a garage, that became the
restaurant,
Portuguese
yeah.
restaurant and then became a private. Well, police would always be parked right there and I'd see them constantly getting people. I'm sure, yeah, I figured. But they used to probably be a sweet spot right there. I saw
it's great.
a lot of tickets get written there. All right, still speakers and communications. Anybody else has any topics they want to discuss? Raise your hand, come on up, let us know what it is. Anyone else? All right, speakers and communications is closed. Moving on to our department head report. Shane?
Thanks for backdating the crossing guard. It was much needed. Out of the blue, the gentleman came in and said he was interested and we had I think 3 afternoon shifts available for him. So he fit right in and was trained by Lieutenant Welch and he's up and running. And I think that's it.
Great. How's the timeline looking for Music Fest? We gonna meet with them or are you guys gonna meet with them in advance?
Lieutenant Welch is, I'm gonna be out of town Thursday and Friday. I have to go to Albany. Lieutenant Welch is meeting with them preliminarily on Friday to start discussing where we are requesting that they put more fencing up down by Mister's in Hamlin where that's a problem and to make sure there's no bans on rooftops
I got a meeting, I got that call today, I got a meeting Friday with, we said Friday at 1. Heck, you know what I do Friday at 1, like, what can you do?
I got fish fries to do on Friday.
But,
Fish to catch.
but we're working on it, so.
Yeah, I just feel like every year, and it's a great event and it's a lot of fun.
It's great.
I personally enjoy it. I do. I really do love it. I really do love it. But it does good things for local charities, which is great. But there is a ton of homework and planning that needs to be done. And I feel like every year something gets missed. And we're like, wait, last year they had those. Why don't they have them this, like the lights?
Yeah.
Like they had the big tower lights with the generators, and then one year they didn't have the tower lights. And it's like,
Yeah.
do we have to remember to list and mention every single thing,
Yeah,
you know?
That's the full outline, so
Mhm.
that they need to submit that, and I sent it to them.
Good. Yeah. Just to make sure nothing gets missed, because
Yeah.
you can't do something like this haphazard.
you're right. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Shane. Matthew,
We we started today, changing out the lights on Main Street to the LEDs. And along with that, we came across an opportunity to purchase a used 19-foot scissor lift at a very reasonable price. We found one that's a few years old for about $4,000, where we looked at buying one a couple of years ago for, I think it was $22,000. And checked around, got comparables from other rental places that are selling them, and it's significantly cheaper than the other ones that are the same size and spec. So I would like to move ahead and purchase that. We can use it for servicing light bulbs in the truck bay at the fire department and in the DPW garage, so we don't have to stand in the bucket of some equipment to change the bulbs. And then also on Main Street, it could be utilized for retrofitting all the poles. Once we get to the other side of the bridge heading west, the poles are taller than our ladders are. And it would be much safer to have this piece of equipment.
Why is it so cheap?
It's used. And we've been doing a lot.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
No. We've been renting more equipment from them, and they're giving us a good deal.
If you rent one, how much does it cost when you go rent one?
It's $135, $150 a day plus pickup and delivery charges.
Oh, so one off is 2,700, but we'd get it for Ford and it'd be our own?
Yep.
Seems like a no-brainer.
I agree.
so you rent it for 30 days and then you break even, right?
And
If you had to rent it at $130 a day for 30 days, that's about $4,000.
Right.
And then after that, it's yours. Now you're talking about that thing that's like the size of a golf cart, right, with 4 little wheels on it. And it's got
Yeah.
the scissor jack
Yep,
thing, and it
yep,
just
goes
raises, it
straight
brings
up
up a
right
little
there.
railing around it.
Correct.
And I'm all in favor of having our employees be safe,
And safer, sure.
and if they're safer on it, doing their jobs, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I go into maintenance garages all over the country and they all have one, so I think it's needed.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Just buy it.
We have
All in
money,
favor?
we have the money for it.
You don't go, it's just that you guys have tried it last time, and I just wanted to make sure you were okay with it. We took funds to.
Well,
20 grand,
22,000 and 4 is a big difference.
I agree. But I just want to make sure.
I'm fine.
You guys
Yes.
know?
I'm fine
I'm
with it.
good.
Anything else, Matt? Anything else?
No, sir, that's it.
Aaron?
Two quick things similar to the police department. We've been talking with Music Fest already. And we are also meeting tomorrow with representatives from Knox Park for the solar eclipse. We'll likely have people on standby down at Knox Park for that event. That's it.
How many people do they expect?
3,000.
3,000,
Not
those
a
are the
ton,
tickets
but-
sold, right?
Sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
Wow.
wonder if people gonna, well, I guess if it's cloudy, right? I mean,
Where are they gonna park?
Yeah, they're gonna,
Mostly on the soccer field side.
Oh, okay.
like they did with,
Depending on the weather.
like with Borderland where they have the golf carts and they're running them back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know about that. but
Yeah.
That's the plan so far.
That's a lot of people. Chief.
That's parks.
Shane's praying for a cloudy day.
Gonna get out of hand for 3.5 minutes.
Uh,
Yeah, they'll be looting.
you're going crazy.
State of emergency.
All right, anything else, Aaron? Thanks for coming out. Rich?
I do not have anything to add tonight. Thank you, though.
Very good. Thanks, Rich. Maureen?
I just want to remind everybody that the election is March 19th from noon to 9. People should come out to vote. And I do want to note that we will have new machines. Erie County is using us to test because we do not have a contentious election. So there will be a new machine style that people will see at that vote.
All good? All right, thank you. Grace?
I did a ride along with Lieutenant O'Hara a couple weeks ago. It was pretty fun and got to see how they operate over there, and they do a pretty great job.
Did you get to shoot his gun?
He did not.
Hmm.
Did not let me even look at it. But it's cool. He gave me a rundown of the police station and then everything that's in the car and how they're prepared for everything. And then we drove around the village and we made, well, one other officer made a stop. We went over and assisted.
I didn't
pretty
get
cool.
one of those.
I think you guys should all do it.
Just asking.
I didn't
Shane
get one
will,
of those.
Shane will hook you up.
We should, yeah.
I mean, if I had to
I've
do
never
that
done
every
one.
day, I'd be
I've always
pretty
wanted
bored.
to.
I'm sorry,
If I had to
pardon?
do that every day, I'd be pretty bored, but it was cool for a couple hours.
Cool.
But yeah, very professional, great guys over there, and it was nice to see.
Did you sit in front?
I did.
Because the computer's up there, right?
Yeah.
So they move it all out of the way and there's room for you?
Yeah, it's kind of like in your face, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should go do one, Mayor.
I think I have.
Yeah.
In the past.
Oh.
Get to run. Oh, I'm gonna.
Did you sit in the back? Is that why? You don't remember?
Back,
Yeah.
with cuffs on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I get to try out the jail cell and see that
was a
for like
different kind of ride.
2 days.
Then I've been working with my company designs fire halls, so I've been working with an architect there to try to figure out correct flooring for the police or the fire department. And then hopefully get some quotes on that and then work with Aaron and those guys to figure out that. And then other than that, nothing.
Thank you. Ernie,
Nothing.
Molly,
Nothing.
all right. No, you had your chance. Uh-oh.
I am going to be coming back to you at the next meeting about the accounting software. I know we've discussed it a lot, but Williamsville and Hamburg have jumped on too, and I think we will all be voting next board meeting. And we're going to get extra discounts and stuff for the software because the 3 municipalities are kind of going in on it.
So what does that mean for us?
She wants to spend money.
Yeah,
Less cost.
is it
They-
brings our
yeah.
cost down, right?
It brings our cost down. We're getting some extras and we'll have some extra training locally that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Good.
When is
And-
that?
I'm sorry, what?
When do you want, when is it purchasing it this year?
Yeah,
Before
we
the
already put the
budget
money
year?
aside. We already put the money aside. We have it for this year. This
This
is
year.
the extra money. Yep.
What was
Yeah.
it? What were the other municipalities? Hamburg and
Hamburg and Williamsville.
Williamsville. We, the last time we did a software rollout, our folks got trained on modules. They brought somebody in. Remember they had somebody in for like a week? They had 1 or 2 people in here doing classes. Well, didn't they sit in for like a few days or the whole week and just take us through how it worked?
The company we have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came in and they did it with every module. They came in and trained. But a lot of the companies have gone virtual now after COVID. So they do a lot of it. Most of the companies do it all virtual. But because there would be so many of us local, they'd come do it local.
Yeah.
We still will have virtual, and I'll be honest, it's easier to do virtual for myself. Because
Because
then
you
I
can
control it. It's
rewind
convenient.
whatever you
for
want.
me. I'm sorry, what?
Cause you can rewind whenever you want and follow up on things that you
No,
missed.
that's actually a live person. It's
Yeah.
just when it's convenient for me opposed to, them being there for 3 days and you have to try to get your work done and deal with them nonstop for 3 days.
Mhm.
Otherwise you can book, a couple hours here and a couple hours there. It's hard to, when you have your emails piling up and residents needing to be helped still.
Yeah. But don't they archive it so that you can use it as a reference and go back and look at it when you need? That's how I do trainings. I go through the training the first time and then I'll go back and be like, I missed that, or I had trouble
Yeah, so
this spot.
they have those generally, but this is like specific, site specific. So East Aurora's stuff might be very different than
Mm.
somebody else's stuff. It's going to be how I specifically want it. So our GL coding might be different than Hamburg's and Williamsville's GL coding, or, how we do certain reports, or what our process is opposed to another municipality's process.
Thank you. And I want to thank legislator Larigo for coming out. And we talked about the Music Fest and the eclipse and the election, and that's, CSEA negotiations. Maureen and I are still meeting with them. It's gonna probably take a while, it sounds like. So we're still picking away at that. We'll let you know when that's all buttoned up. That's it. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second. Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Was that? 1:14?